Hi, I'm Bill the Piano Tuner. Well, we turned our clocks back, and I hope you all voted. Now, it's a good time to have your piano tuned. Now, last week we talked about capstan adjustment. Now, take a look at the upright action here. Remember we talked about that the capstan adjustment on the upright action controls the amount of space between the top of the jack and the bottom of the butt. Now, this little piece of red felt here controls where the jack sits underneath the butt. Now, let me move this upright action. Now, this is a grand whipping. The difference between a grand whipping and an upright whipping is that it has this extra part here called the repetition lever. Now, that adjustment here controls the amount of space. Now, you look over here. This adjustment here controls how much space there is between the top of the jack and the knuckle. Now, when you turn this down, you actually lower the repetition lever. If you see the jack hanging up atop of the whipping, now if you turn it clockwise, it lowers it. Now, the amount of space that you should have should be so that there's just enough space so that the jack will slip back underneath the knuckle. Now, the other adjustment you have is this one here. This adjustment controls where the jack sits underneath the knuckle. Now, you see how the back of the jack is way past the back of this core wood? That's way too much forward. So we want to move it out so that that's about right. The back edge of the jack is lined up with the back edge of the core wood of the knuckle, and that's the adjustment for where the jack sits under the knuckle. Now, if you want a little bit of a faster action, what you can do is use the seesaw test. What you do is you first adjust this jack out so far that when you do this, it's still good. See how it slips out? You try to do a seesaw toast. Now, what you do is you back it out. You push it back in far enough so that when you try to do the seesaw test, you see I'm holding my finger on the hammer and the key and I'm going back and forth. Well, you move it in just far enough so that it doesn't slip out from under the knuckle. And that's the jack adjustment for the grand piano. Now, next week we're going to talk about starting a regulating job. Have a good week. I'm off to tune pianos. We'll be perfecting each note one key at a time. Adios.